Good morning, everybody, and it is I, Stippling Vaughn, and it is Labor Day weekend. It is the Sunday on Labor Day weekend, so bar right now is relatively quiet. I'm sure as the day progresses, of course, it will get busier. I'm doing something different right now. Instead of going straight into stippling, I want to do some erasing. I'm curious as to how these wings look, because you see how I drew a line there, but I'm curious how it looks without the line, so as to whether I need to go back and put those lines in. I kind of like how that looks. I like how that looks with just that blank space there, and by not doing an outline and just putting the ribs in of the wings up here, it's enough separation from the coat, from the bottom of the coat. Let's see how it looks with this one here. I lots of times like to wait until I'm done with the piece completely before I go in and I then do the erasing. It's kind of like the last piece of magic. But when you're doing something like this, sometimes you just need to go in and you need to erase parts of it so you can see whether you need to go back and you need to put some lines in that you normally just initially did not want to have in at all. So I'm liking that. Yeah, I do like that. So okay, so we'll go back when we erase. After I was done with my video yesterday, and after I did my time-lapse video, I went in and did her face. That needed, I need to be able to really move around, focus on her face with a stippling. I couldn't do that because essentially the camera's in the way. So, but here's we go, just a little bit of magic. So you can see some of the magic right there in front of you occurring as the pencil lines are being pulled away, and all you have now is the dots forming the image. So I like how that looks. I think the rest of it will look good too. Another area where I'm curious about is, I'm not sure, because originally I had it where I think I might still do this whole area as black. Do this whole thing as black, and that way this here pops. And then I still need to do this area here. I'm going to do that right now for you folks. I'm going to put in the dots, just a light layer of dots in here. So that way it is pushed back and not so, that way this corner of the bottle is more dominant than this one here. So the map for the floor map, exhibition floor map for the Baltimore Comic-Con, it is now available, and they proved me completely wrong by having 8 artists at table 2214. And it's the last table in the row, and after that table there's a large blank space, open area. And I can already see what they're going to do is they're going to have you line up there in that empty area, in that blank area, and then 5 people at a time will then go over to the artist. So that'll be a nice means of crowd control, and it'll prevent there being a log jam in the aisles for the other creators. So they proved me wrong. I challenged them. I didn't think that was a good idea the way they had it. Another big thing also is if you've been to the show in the past, on the far left-hand side of the convention floor, they always had, that's where the actors would be, and they don't have them there. They just have a series of booths. So they're really broadening out the convention floor. And you think about it, even though they have like part of it cordoned off, and behind the curtain there's a large, where the concession stands are and where people can go to sit, and a lot of tables with chairs so people can sit and relax in the convention floor area. They're renting that space, so there is the show itself has the ability to get even bigger than it is. So, but with the map and if you download the PDF for that map, in the lower bottom, right along the bottom, underneath the list of attendees, they are listing all of the artists that partake in, or taking part in the yearbook. This year they're honoring First Comics, and they've got a lot of the creators there. They've got Joe Staten, Jim Starlin, Steve Rude, Mike Gold, a couple other people I can't even think of off the top of my head. They only have Mike Barron there, which I was kind of bummed about. But, I mean, many times when they do these events like this, they don't have like all the creators from that period at the show. But what's really nice about the yearbook is you get the yearbook, and then you go around the convention floor and you get it signed. And then when you're done getting it signed, you go back to where you would have bought the yearbook, and they've got exclusive prints. And those prints, generally many times now, are not in the yearbook itself. I took a look at the list, and the artists that are taking part in the yearbook, it's pretty extensive. I'm just going to rattle off a whole bunch. I'm not going to rattle them all off. But like Gene Ha, Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, David Peterson, Craig Rousseau, Jim Califor, Keith Williams, Bo Hampton, John Workman, Brendan Peterson, Tom Mandrake, who was part of First Comics of its original inception, Bob McLeod, Frank Cho, Barry Keatson. I mean, the list goes on and on. But the way they have it done is you go and you gotta get about like 25 signatures. Once you get 25 signatures, you go back and you get exclusives. And here's what I think, is that I'm like, I wonder what artists they're going to have as the exclusive prints. So I took another closer look at the attendees versus those that are taking part in the book itself. Now this is my guess, okay? I'm guessing that the prints that are going to be exclusive, that you gotta get the signatures to get these prints, I get the feeling that they're probably going to be like Adam Hughes, J.G. Jones, Lee Weeks, maybe Art Adams. Oh man, if Art Adams was an exclusive print, that would be awesome. Jan DeRasmo, Ron Garney, David Finch, Jay Lee. Imagine if there's an exclusive print of Jay Lee's work. And like Joe Prado, maybe him. So there's a whole bunch of different artists that are going to be there that aren't participating in that. Let me put it this way. They're not listed as having contributed to the yearbook, but they might have it there, as might have the exclusive print. So maybe they are, and they're just holding it as a surprise for us. And you don't know till you go and you find out. Now I know that like Walt Simonson, because what they do is the artwork is then auctioned off for the Heroes Initiative. And I asked Walt at the Garden State Comic Con if he was taking part in it. Because if he said he was taking part in it, I was going to use as the opportunity to say, hey, everybody's doing Steve Root, can you do the Badger or something like that? He's told me that he's not going to be taking part in the yearbook, but he is doing a Thor piece. He's doing a piece of Thor artwork for the auction, because as he puts it, he wants to raise money. And by doing that, by having the Thor piece, it's going to raise a lot more money than if, say, they were doing if he did a Steve Rude or a Badger piece, because he's so well known for doing Thor. So I really applaud Walt for doing that, for wanting to take part But he's like, no, I want to raise some money. So that's why he's going to be doing a Thor piece as opposed to uh, a Nexus or a Badger piece. So I have a feeling a lot of people are going to be doing Nexus. When for me, I'm kind of like, come on, spread it out. I mean, Howard Chaykin did American. Oh God, what was that American book he did? American Journey, American Spirit. I forget what it was. But I'd like to see a lot of people doing that title, or Jim Starlin. His Dreadstar was available through First Comics. I'd love to see some people doing some Odie. That'd be cool. Oh man, imagine if David Peterson did his Mouse Guard squirrels or Mouse Guard mice along with Odie. That would be cool. Or like Frank Cho doing a really like psychedelic computer Wonderland version of Willow. That would have been cool. Joe Chen, I know she's going to be, again, she's a painter artist. I would love to have seen her do. I hope she's doing something like that. Sorry you're not watching me stipple. I had to clean the brush off, or clean the nib off. So, but okay, we've got the bottle. Pretty much we got that area hit. And I wanted to hit, I don't know, maybe I should hit here. I'll hit up there real quick. So, but yeah, but the yearbook, I love the yearbook. I used to, on my own, independently as a fan, create my own entry, and I would then present it to the artists that they're honoring. So I remember like when they did the Tell List, I presented to Todd Dazinga and for him to give to whatever charity he wanted to. And also I did it for, I did the same thing for Terry Moore. But after that, I just got so busy with doing my own stuff. With mainly a lot of times it was because I was doing commissions of like kind of Aunt Myrtle and Uncle Joe and granddaughter Lucy for people, and then I started getting into doing my own book, like doing the Scat Investigators. This is this piece that you're watching me work. It is a Scat Investigators related piece. This is the kind of like the lore, the legends and lores of Pennsylvania, along with other American lore characters that we know primarily from the United States. Some are European, such as the fairies and the gnomes, but I just did that as like a whimsical thing for my own joy. That's the reason why I put them in. But I mean, everything in here of this piece has a lot of its roots in Pennsylvania, such as this is actually the skull tree because of how the roots are. That's an actual tree in Pennsylvania. So, but yeah, I'm having fun doing this, and this is going to be a page in the Scat Investigators. It might be a chapter break page illustration. It might be the back cover. I don't know yet. I just did this. I did this because I wanted more for the book, to give you like hints of what else is going on in this world. Because like the initial story may not tap on this stuff, may reference this stuff or tap into this stuff, but it's not actually addressed. But I want to give you a hint and a preview, if you will, of what this world is, and is that the Pennsylvania Game Wardens, the secret division of the Pennsylvania Game Wardens, and what they deal with. So I just thought it was fun. So some of this stuff might be in it, some of it might not. I don't know. So for like for instance, the zombies originated in the Pittsburgh area. So of course you gotta have them in the story somehow, one way or another. whether it be implied or obvious or foretelling device. You don't know. So, but right now, like mainly the story follows Mac and Bob, the two game wardens out of Pennsylvania, and they're the ones that perform the cover-up. So when your Scullys and your Mulders showing up going, the truth is out there, and when you got that nosy reporter that knows that there's a bigger cover-up and it's a conspiracy theory, nope, these guys erased all the evidence. There's no proof for you. You're making a wild accusation. Nothing that you're saying is true. So that's what these guys do. So, but I'm just having fun with it. I'll be doing this time-lapse video. I'll probably be doing this dam here. I can't remember what the name of the actual dam is. So, you know what? Because I can't remember the name of the dam, what I'll do is I'll work on the gnome. I'll work on this gnome instead, or what I'll do is I'll work on the fairy. That's what I'll do. I'll work on the fairy boneyard today. I'll work on the fairy boneyard. That'll be fun. Plus, also, we gotta be honest. Having a video titled Fairy Boneyard is going to be a lot more interesting and a bigger draw than old Pennsylvania Dam from bumfuck nowhere. So, but just go in, and at this point right now I'm just like creating like the tone and texture, and you don't really need to go in a lot of detail. You take a look at how I did. I just did little darks and lights here and there. So that way you have implied that you can see that it was some type of old structure and it's fallen apart and it's from the past, which is really what I wanted. So, and I have a book on like the back, I think it was called The Back Roads of Pennsylvania. It was a book that was available, I think it was an exclusive book available at Borders bookstore back when they were around. And I got it dirt cheap at a local library book fair. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. I got it specifically because I'm doing this stuff, and I wanted to have a reference book of Pennsylvania scenery, so that way when I'm drawing these guys and I have them, if I'm drawing them at on a farm, or I just want to let you guys know that it's on a farm, I don't want to just have a generic farm in the background. I want the buildings, like the barns themselves. A lot of Pennsylvania Dutch in this area, so the Dutch barns, which have a unique look to them, get them drawn in the background, so that way you have a better feel of this isn't just a farm. This is a farm that you would find in Pennsylvania. So that's why I got the book primarily, and that's where this dam came from. So who knows? Maybe it's even though it's not for that area, maybe it's symbolic of the dam that broke and caused the Johnstown flood. Maybe that's what I'll do. Have this as that, even though this doesn't even look close to that dam. That dam was made out of soil. It was just it was pretty much all it really was just soil and wood timbers to keep the water back. When it broke, it flooded the town and killed so many people. And even today, when you go to the Johnstown area, there's this look and depressive feel about it. So I found that out from an old co-worker. He was telling me how he had to go there when he was working in the law profession to take subpoenas down, and how you go there and it's just like it's so like downtrodden, depressive. And this is like in the last like 20 years, maybe 30 years, and it still has that feel from being completely kicked in the balls because of the flood and not recovering from it. So, but yeah, I'm just hitting this area here. This whole area here is going to be black, and then this area is black, and then this will be a lighter tone, and this will be extremely lighter tone. Just as after I'm done with this part of the dam, this part here where these trees are, they'll be a very light tone, so to help create depth. And then you just pop in a color, and when you're done, so that way you see that it's representative of trees. Because remember, I always stress that it doesn't matter how detailed or how abstract your drawing is. All you're creating is symbols, and many times they're directional points to move your eye around the page, whether it's intentional or unintentional. Many times people as an art who've drawn a lot, they develop those instincts to draw in such a way to put this here and put this here, and the whole point of it is to move your eye around the page, whether you're good at it and you're consciously aware of doing that, or it's just inherent and you just do it naturally now. So, but hey, I'm gonna get done with this video, and we'll start doing the time-lapse video. So I want you guys to have a great day, and always remember, life is stressful, and just take it one dot at a time.